to the running back, and he dives across the 30 before he's hit and tackled at about the 32-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards on the play, so they're almost averaging 5 yards every time they run the football.
Kern is they're getting some holes in there against our defensive line too. They're moving some of our kids back, and I still hadn't got a name on that number 32 yet. I'm going to feel like an idiot. Whoever
32, Louis Bowles. Been on our kickoff team and punt coverage team. I know he's been on the kickoff team all year.
Yeah, he has.
All right, Partlow with a 2nd down and 5 from the 32. Hands off again to Kern, and Brian Burke this time hit him just as he got the handoff.
Brian Burke makes a big defensive play. I mean, he just lowered a shoulder into him and almost got there when the ball did.
Boy, that'd been nice. We could have had a turnover here, Blue.
We could use a turnover right here.
Lost a couple yards on the play. He's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 this time, and Partlow will call his play at the line of scrimmage, as he has done all year and has done all through this game.
2 wide outs to our right side.
Yeah, Michael Partlow's the wide out right. Ryan Partlow rose to his right, throws the ball, has a man short, and the pass is complete to Westfall, and the Blue Devils knock him out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Pickup of I'd say about 10 yards on the play, and gives them a 1st down.
A real good pass route that time. Westfall just pulls up short, comes back toward his quarterback, as a good receiver will do, and gives him a big target to throw at.
And all their receivers, Mark, are pretty good-sized young men. They don't have anybody. All 3 of these receivers that they have in at the wideouts look to be 6 feet or better.
Yeah.
And they are, according to
I think Westfall's the shortest at 6 foot even.
Yeah, he's 6 foot 170. They have a wide out split way left. That's Partlow and Westfall here. The pitch this time is to Kern, and he's hit and stopped with a great tackle by Housewright that time.
I think Mr. Kern's just been welcomed to Gate City football. That's an excellent textbook tackle by Jake Housewright. He just met him and drove him right straight down into the ground.
The Blue Devils, on the last couple of running plays, have seemed to do a pretty good job, but
there's a loss of about 2 yards on that play.
Handley's bread and butter all year long has been throwing the football, and
well, it has, but that's also what's contributed to Kern being able to get so many yards on the ground. I mean, it keeps the defense off balance all day.
Had another official timeout for only a minute to cover the football. We got 2nd down and 12 yards to go. 3:45 to go before halftime. Handley leads Gate City 12-7. Partlow up under center. Brian, that is. Michael Partlow split to his left. Blue Devils get a little pressure. The pass is over the middle and behind Michael Partlow, and incomplete.
And another bad pass that time. He threw that way behind brother that time.
Yeah, he did. Blue Devils got the defensive front, got their hands up pretty good that time, Mark.
They did, and chances are Partlow just wasn't able to see his. I wonder which one of those boys are the younger, since they're twins.
I don't know.
I keep wanting to say his younger brother or older brother. Or
3:33 to go. That's that incomplete pass. Stop the clock. Now 3rd down and 12. Handley with the ball on their own 44-yard line. Double wide outs left. Partlow rolls to his left, being chased. Pass is tipped and intercepted. Blue Devils. Mack play ball. Pass hit the intended receiver that time. I believe was a tight end on that side, Papa, and deflected off of his hands. And Mack play ball made the reception.
Right, Matt just in perfect position. Great pursuit that time by Beasley. Partlow slipped a little bit as he rolled out to his left and give Beasley time to really get on top of him, and he rushed his throw and tried to throw on the run.
So the Blue Devils pick up another turnover here with 3:22. When they chop the clock, we're down to 3:15 now, and the ball just inside of midfield on Handley's territory at the 49. Blue Devils change their set, pro set this time, with a wide out wingback set left. Fake to the tailback. We're going to throw a screen. The pass is complete to Gibson, but they played it real well.
That's broken up in there that time by Stephen Johnson.
Yes, Stephen Johnson.
Stephen Johnson, and did a real good job. He it looked like we had the screen set up pretty good, and he was just underneath. We got a flag in the backfield.
And Handley,
the defensive backfield, I should say.
Handley is motioning that's in our direction.
Offensive pass interference? Is that what we're going to call?
Well, don't know. For it to be that far down. Looks like our coaching staff wanted to get with the officials, and Coach Colabro calmed them down a little bit and said, now, you know, you make the call. You're the guy that made the call. We'll take our lunch here. That's all we can do about it.
That's about it. I didn't see what was happening. I was watching the screen that time, but I don't know what happened downfield. Apparently,
Blue Devils must have blocked while the ball was in the air.
Could be in.
Or we could have had I guess we could have had a lineman down. I didn't see the signal. Did you? It must have been offensive pass interference, though. Because it's not only
it's a big penalty.
Second down also, which is lost it down, so that's what they call. 15-yard penalty and lost it down. Blue Devils put Matt Clayball into motion, handoff to Gibson. He circles right in, picks up about 5 yards on the play.
And we have
a penalty down here. So.
I think we're going to see a face mask right here. I think this may go against the judges.
Even in high school, though, Mark, we won't be able to recover the 15 we lost on the play because it's all marked off from the line of scrimmage. Is that not right? No, they're marking it off from the spot.
From point of infraction here, it's a personal foul. It is face mask.
So that gives the Blue Devils part of the yardage back that they lost on the prior play on the penalty, and puts the ball inside Handley territory again at about the 44. It's going to bring up third down now, and looks like 5 yards to go.
So looks like the Devils make a mistake, and then Handley turns right around and commits a big foul right here this close to half.
Yeah, and it's second down because the down wouldn't change because of the penalty.
Right.
Devils in a run-and-shoot formation with Gibson, the only back in the backfield. Shoemaker rolls back, has the screen set up again to Gibson.
A lot of running room.
But Handley made a good play, too. He had a man blocked on his... And we also have a flag.
I think we're going to get a late hit right here, Larry.
Do you think that's what it is, or is it on the coach's side? Looks like he threw it at the bench.
I thought he hit him awful late after he was down.
That could be what it is. That may be the reason the coaching staff is so all up in arms over there.
It is a personal foul,
and it is against Handley.
I thought he came in there awful late. I thought Gibson was down, and he just kind of come in there and just tried to finish him off while he was on the ground. This is not pro ball, and once you're down, you're down. You don't have to touch anybody. So
you know, Mark, we've talked about Handley has not had too many close games all year, and we wondered how they might react. These kids, you know, have maybe feel a little pressure, a little tension here by the Blue Devils being able to move the football.
Very well could be. They've not really had a close game. I see Paige Hughes is into the game for Matt Johnson at guard.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Power out formation again with Gibson to stand at tailback. Hand off to Gibson, and he runs a little slant. Just probably gets back to the line of scrimmage. So it didn't look like Gibson ran with the head of steam that it had before that time.
No, he may have slipped a little bit, but give the judges credit. We had no room whatsoever over there to run the ball. Gibson really didn't have anything to stare him in the face except some muddy white jerseys.
Yeah. Blue Devils taking a timeout here. I believe that's our second timeout, which would only leave us with one before halftime. We've got 1:45 to go. Handley leads in the game 12-7. So far, Mark, while we've got this timeout, what's your impression of the way things have gone so far?
Well, I'm a little surprised and really a lot more optimistic. Of course, the Devils started off with bad field position, and Handley got a couple of breaks early. But as per usual, this Devil team don't quit. They've been in this situation several times, and now we're beginning to drive the ball and find out that we can move the ball. And any time that an offensive line can feel that they're getting some penetration off the ball and can move the defense a yard or two off the ball every time, it just picks up a tremendous amount of momentum for our line. I mean, the kids, the offensive line start believing more in themselves, and, you know, it causes a lot of confusion for the defense. They don't understand why all of a sudden we're moving the ball on.
Right. So it's 2nd and 10 now from the John Handley, looks like 24-yard line. Blue Devils, same formation, power out formation, but they put a back in motion this time with Fisher, handoff to Gibson, and he picks up about 3 yards on the play, up close to the 20-yard line, stopped short of the 20. We'll call it about the 21. That time out of that formation, we put Housewright, which was an up man, in motion to get a little lead block, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. And I tell you, we need, Larry, it's important we come away from this. We're down under 1 minute and 20 seconds now. We need to come out of here with some points bad.
Blue Devils have a 3rd down and 7 here, and Handley with their linebackers will probably, they have about a 6-man line now. Shoemaker rolls to his right, throws the ball down the middle, has a man.
Intercepted.
Short, but it's intercepted by Handley. Interception was made at about the 5, and he got back to the 10-yard line before he's tackled.
And West Ford broke open right there for a second. The ball, not a well-thrown ball, but West slipped also. It could be if West could have held his footing right there, he could have come back to the ball. After he fell, it left only one man wide open. Unfortunately, it was one of the judges.
Looked like the pass was underthrown.
It was underthrown to Ted. But, you know, the ball's wet, and we've seen Partlow underthrow the ball too. So the main thing is we need to hold them right here, go in 5 points down, and regroup here at halftime.
Ball was spotted at the 11, I believe, and Partlow hands off to Kern, and he dives across the right tackle, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
And stopped in there that time was made by Brian Burke, and it's good play by Burke. They may be content to try to run the clock out right here, Larry, instead of trying to go for something big.
Yeah, I don't think they'll put the football in the air here.
Well, they get the ball the second half.
Right, they start out
they
the
deferred
second
and they get the ball the second half, but got to be some positive things at halftime go on in the Devils locker room. I know we've seen some positive things this quarter.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that Partlow's going to take a snap here. He's pointed to the clock. I believe it was less than 25 seconds left and the clock has run out, and we are at halftime with John Handley, the judges from John Handley, leading the Blue Devils from Gate City with a score of 12-7. We'd like to tell you that Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with a new ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. By King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. And by Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts like Firestone and Michelin. Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In, and by the Regional Education Program. Thank you to all the sponsors who help us bring you Blue Devil football on Channel 30. Well, Mark, I just probably read the sponsors when I wasn't supposed to, but I happened to look there, and I thought it's a good time to get a plug in for all these people. We've had people all year long that have sponsored our Blue Devils, have been very cooperative in sponsoring us, and it makes it possible for a couple old guys like me and you to get in here and do something like this.
Well, it does. And
you can never thank them enough.
You never can, and you know, it's important too for those out there that listen to the broadcast each week and get to watch the tape delayed replay. Be sure and get out and tell these sponsors how much you appreciate their sponsoring Blue Devil football.
Well, we'll take about a 5-minute time out here, and then we'll be back with the stats in the second half and talk to Mr. Blanton a little bit more about what went on in the first half.
If you want quality service at reasonable prices,
it's hard to get it all in one sentence.
It sure is. Mark, so far we were talking here as we had a break during halftime about the flow of the game. You and I talking along with Daniel Daugherty, who has been operating one of our cameras today, and Mark Peters, who helps out on the broadcast at WGAT radio and supplies us with, and has supplied us all year with stats, and does an excellent job on stats and an excellent job on the radio too, I'm sure. I just never get the opportunity to listen to him and to critique him like he can me, you know, because we're always working at the same time, and he gets by. But I'm sure Mark and Mike Long and Mike Bailey helps them over there. Have done a good job all year, and WGAT Radio has been befriended us for many years. They've them and STE, I think, have a good relationship and work good together.
Well,
and,
it is a good relationship.
I
know they supply you or have supplied you with the stats at halftime at the end of the game for a lot of years here.
Yeah, they have. And but like I was getting ready to say, now we talked at halftime about what had transpired in the first half, and what's your observation? How do you feel that things have gone so far first half?
I think, as we said to start with, of course, turnovers will be a big part of the game with the conditions the way they are. And so far, the Devils have been able to make a couple of turnovers and capitalize on one of them. The Judges have capitalized on one. Field position in the first quarter was the key to the whole thing. And you said it earlier, after we got out of the shadow of our own end zone, the defense was able to rise to the occasion and shut the Judges down. And right now, I think the Judges probably are in a not really a shock, but I think they're a little bit of a misunderstanding. They've probably not found themselves in this situation many times, if any, this year by the scores they won by. And the fact that the Devils were able to take the ball the second quarter and move the ball, and were moving the ball, was moving the ball when the half ended there right before the interception. Our offensive line looked like to me has gained a lot of momentum, and we're pushing their guys back 2 and 3 yards off the ball every time. Now, what they've got to do is, and I'm sure they're working on over right now, is decide what has caused the explosion by our offensive line and how to shut it down.
That's a question I was getting ready to ask you. What kind of adjustments can Handley make at defense, at halftime on defense, to maybe shut this running game down?
Well, I think we can probably see and maybe expect to see more stunts or more blitzes by their linebackers. A couple of times or a few times they blitzed. Of course, they caught Gibson, I know, once or maybe twice in the backfield, and they broke up a screen over there very well, which didn't have anything to do with a blitzing linebacker. But they can, in order to shut our running game down, they'll have to do something with their linebackers, given the fact that our offensive line keeps getting the momentum off the ball and pushing their defensive line back. They'll have to adjust with their linebackers and corners.
Well, Mark, let's talk a little bit about the stats that have been supplied to us by Mark Peters and Mike Bailey of WGAT Radio. In first downs, Gate City had 6 first downs. John Handley had 7. Gate City rushed the ball 22 times for 80 yards. Handley rushed the ball 13 times for 47 yards. Passes, Gate City attempted 4 passes, completed 2, had 1 interception for passing yards of 14. Handley attempted 15 passes, only completed 4, had 2 interceptions for 50 yards. Total offense, Gate City 94, Handley 97. Punts, Gate City punted 2 times for 28 yards. Handley punted no times, and that's a result of the penalty that we had on the
roughing the kicker.
On the roughing the kicker on the punt, so he's not credited with the punt, really. Fumbles, Gate City had 2 fumbles, lost 1. Handley had no fumbles in the first half. Penalty yards, Gate City was penalized 2 times for 30 yards. Handley penalized 4 times for 50 yards. Turnovers, Gate City had 2. Handley had 2. Individual rushing for the Blue Devils in the first half. Kevin Gibson carried the ball 16 times for 67 yards. Individual receiving, Michael Partlow had 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. Now, I believe that ties Michael Partlow for a Virginia High School League.
I think it's
another Virginia High School League record. Coming into the game, he only needed 3.
Yeah, I think that's right. I tell you, Larry, I think one of the things that shows me that the Judges were a little bit shocked by us being able to move the ball was they had 2 what I would call very unnecessary penalties, back-to-back penalties. They had a face mask, and then they had a late hit penalty over there. And you could see some frustration on the part of the Judges' defense. That tells me that they've not been in the situation very many times this year where they need to make a big play or need to shut something down. That they've been enough points ahead and had comfortable leads to where they haven't actually had their backs against the wall.
Well, I'd say, I'd say Brian Partlow has had very few, if any, games where at halftime he's thrown 15 passes, only completed 4 and had 2 interceptions for only 50 yards.
Well, I'd say that's right, and I tell you, now he's had some receivers that's been open too, but the fact is that I think the key to the second half is they're going to come out, I think, and try in this first series to maybe put the ball on the ground a little more with the field conditions and the slop that we're playing in out here. And I don't know how big the shoulder injury was to Partlow. Maybe his shoulder's bothering him. He's had some underthrown passes. He's had 2 or 3 passes thrown behind his receivers, and one I know was thrown too high.
Right.
And 2 of those resulted in interceptions.
Right.
So it could be they try to put the ball on the ground some here. And they've probably not found themselves in the position of where they have to put the ball on the ground. Rather, it's a luxury for them to put the ball on the ground.
Sure. I mean, with their offense, their ground game is just used as a surprise tactic, right?
It sure is, because anytime you've got a run and shoot type offense, it's a pass-oriented offense, and you call your plays and your audibles at the line. And I know he's called a lot of audibles, and some of them are not audible. Some of them are just actually play calls. The plays are signaled in from the sideline to him, and he calls them on the line. But the pace of this game, I'm sure, for the Judges has slowed down a whole lot because of the weather situation and having to change balls between every play.